gonna take you.
That you're gonna me.
You. I'm gonna
up.
take you.
What with that 25% dick you're sporting?
I knew you heard me.
Goddamn right I did.
In action!
Yo, what's good? If that doesn't fire you up, the beginning of that opening podcast with Chris smacking me across the head with the sorry board, I don't know what will. It's your boy, Tyler Transu, here with the Bickering Creatives Podcast, and I'm here with my co-host, Chris Rupert. Chris, how are you this morning?
I am fantastic, Tyler, and I have to say, the highlight of 2021 was hitting you with that goddamn sorry board. Because there's a lot of tension that has built up between us over the years now. And
rightfully so.
I feel like I got a lot out doing that.
Oh, no, you did. And what's cool is how the universe sets up that whole scenario for you, right? Because that's a VidJam competition.
Yep.
You got to create a short movie in 48 hours.
Yep.
And, you know, I show up to your house. Hey, what, or I think it was the night before. You're like, oh, no, that morning, I think. Somehow you're like, oh, dude, what about we played Sorry last night. What if we do a short movie on the game Sorry? And I knew right from then something should have tipped me off. Oh, this guy's been planning to smack me in the head with a sorry board for a long ass time.
Yeah, I got a lot of plans.
Speaking of which, bro, should we fill people in? I see we got some viewers. Yo, if you're new to the TT Productions YouTube channel, Facebook page, Twitter page, check it. You may have got here because you saw the trailer for our new documentary, In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community and UFOs. And by we, I mean Dockside Media, who happens to be a sponsor of the Bickering Creatives Podcast. Dockside Media, if you don't know, is the brainchild of Chris Rupert and myself, Tyler Transu. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah.
You can't dispute that.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think you came up with the name. I came up with the idea. We'll let the viewers decide which is more important. I'm just kidding. No, it definitely is. It definitely is. It's a 50-50% partnership between you and I, taking both of our skills, combining them to create some really fun, interesting documentaries.
We're like Captain Planet, dog.
We're Captain Planet.
When our powers combine.
We are saving the planet by creating interesting movies, and we've made 2 so far. 3 in progress.
Yes, we have 2 completed.
2 completed.
Conscious Contact, full disclosure, which if you've seen the trailer, you know is insane. And it's so insane that we're currently in talks with 1091 Pictures. Because they're the boys and girls who can get that distributed to the masses, right? Worldwide. And we know the interest is there. And then we also finished the documentary Second Chance, which is very unique. And we'll take that to 1091 Pictures as well, probably. We'll see if they have any interest. Chris, you're currently cutting The Ghost of Gettysburg.
Yep.
How's that coming along?
It is way different. Way different than Conscious Contact, but it's a lot of fun because it's a ghost, thing, and you get to play with the horror elements a little bit more. You know what I mean? When you're creating all those sequences and stuff like that. So, and I'm a big horror guy, so I'm really enjoying it. But it is way different. It's we got so much great footage just from Gettysburg, the battlefield, which was...
Oh, I know.
So the whole thing is really just like cinematic shots of Gettysburg, the battlefield. Now, it's not. We got tons of cool interviews. And
we could do a 70-minute doc just on that.
I know. It's awesome. And then we got some really interesting experiences through that one. So it's a different kind of movie than Conscious Contact, because Conscious Contact was like... these interweaving stories, personal stories from people and their experiences. While Ghosts of Gettysburg has a bit of that with some of the people we interviewed, it also has some of these like live experiences, ghost hunting, ghost talking, seances, stuff like that, which is nothing I was ever privy to before we started doing this. So
right.
It's fun. Like, it's just fun.
And there's so much footage, and we had a bunch of just really unique experiences of, doing like the sound box, I believe, or spirit box.
Phasma box, Tyler. Get it
Phasma.
right. Jesus.
Well, there's different versions.
There's different. There's a few different versions. Yeah. We did a Phasma box.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. Some of the stuff that man, I'm drawing the blank. What's the name of the person that's channeling this? They're
the medium?
The medium, yes. Like, some of the stuff the medium was saying, it was insane how it was lining up, like, with what was going on, right? Like, was it coincidence, or is there some paranormal shit going on? I don't know, but when you watch the doc, you'll find out. That's for sure. The people we talk to, they definitely experience things without a doubt.
They're very sincere in their beliefs and their experiences. And I think by the end, either you'll learn something or at least be entertained. At least that's kind of the goal, I think, for Dockside. It's like we want to make entertainment, like entertaining things, but we also want to open people's minds to the possibilities of these things. And your mind is opened a lot easier than my mind. My mind needs a little WD-40. When you go to open my mind, it makes this like kind of noise. It's all rusty and stuff in there.
That's fine.
But I'm working on it, Sometimes you got to lube those hinges up, and my mind will be open and free for everyone. I don't know what I'm saying.
I'm a master luber. I can
you
help
are
you with that all day.
very good at that. Yes.
Try and envision this, if you can, sometime throughout the day. And for any creatives out there listening, to help you kind of get going, man, and really swing for the fences, is, bro, whatever beliefs people have out there, whether, hey, man, I think there's a creator of the universe, some interdimensional beings, the Ponti aliens. Dude, if there's anything out there watching, my mind, I say, you know what, baby? Let me give them something to cheer on, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're here creating documentaries and movies, and our goal, like what we found through Conscious Contact Full Disclosure, is like, dude, we can fire people up, like, to cheer people on, right? And so I just think, like, dude, if there's anything out there watching, a simulation, somebody, an algorithm, God, spirit of the universe, aliens, whatever, it's like, I'm gonna give them something to root for, baby. Say, go, Tyler, baby. Haul that camera equipment through that, that airport. Go to that retired CIA officer. Like, yeah, man. I'm trying to.
And speaking honestly about Dockside Media and our collaboration, it's the I don't know if the yin and the yang. It's that we are polar opposites in a lot of ways. Where you are a super positive, excited person, very proud of everything you do. You motivate people in a lot of ways with your positivity. And I am on the other end, the whiny, tortured creative who makes a lot of things and then gets mad about it. But I think within that's a good partnership, because we're kind of, we play off each other's strengths and weaknesses in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it helps keep me grounded.
Yeah, remember when I said that one word to you and I didn't hear the end of that for weeks.
Dude. Well, because I'm just like, bro, come on, we can't throw that word around. God damn, man, you could use a litany of words, but that one, why would you say that? But it's cool because it inspired me to, well, whatever. It just allows me to, take a look at that stuff, right? And check new checks and balances, man. And I like to be real and like honest about where I'm at in life and where I'm trying to go. So when people say that stuff, it's always worth looking at.
Well, no, it's should we say what word I was saying?
Yeah, go for it. You can tell the people. Chris called me narcissistic.
No, I did not say that. I said around that. But anyways, it's a when you post things on social media and stuff, this is like for creatives who are listening and who are interested in this kind of stuff. I feel like a lot of creatives aren't nearly as business motivated as they should be. Not to say they're not super talented, but there's so many talented people out there, especially with the internet and the ability with technology to create things so much easier than before. So while you might make the best short film or whatever, the best thing, best song, if you're not actively promoting and marketing and networking, there's a good chance no one's ever going to find it, listen to it, hear it, see it, or be moved by it. And so with your outgoingness and your inability to care what other people think, or at least, you come off as a way where it's like you were able to just let those comments slide, if they're negative, is a really powerful tool and ability. Because while even if you were the most humble, down-to-earth person and you were making stuff, the best things, you're still going to find people who just don't like you and like what you do no matter what. You're never going to please everyone. And so since you have the ability to just kind of let that stuff go, you're very outgoing. And so you're very good at spreading the message, getting content out there. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about you and your skills.
No, thanks, man.
And it's something I think a lot of creatives need to learn how to do and overcome. That fear of selling yourself and selling your product and being proud of what you made. And you might even see the faults in it, but you need to not let that show. You just need to put it out there and let it speak for itself. And don't apologize for making something. You know what I mean? You should be proud of it. You made something.
Absolutely. I think that's a great message to any creatives out there like wondering like, oh man, how do I go do that? I wish I could. Yo, you hop on Tyler Transu or Chris Rupert's.
I would hop on Tyler Trans. Oh, sorry. I thought that's
on our
where
Facebook
stopping.
page. I have a girlfriend, Chris. Ain't nobody hopping on nothing, dog. But dude,
that's a shame.
No, not even you. I don't care if you're my business partner.
That was part of the contract, but I guess we're just not following the contract anymore. Right? Well, it was in there. It was very fine.
Oh, must have been fine. Like your ding dong. So, so, if you're creative out there, believe me, man, anybody can do this. Go look at our personal Facebook pages and you'll see, dude, we went from knuckleheads shooting on cell phones or framing up shots on crappy cameras and editing together poorly to just like, to these trailers that you see us putting out in these short films. And it's like, dude, I don't know. We're hustlers, bro. We hustle.
Yeah, it's the experience. So
you gotta love the journey.
You gotta make things, which is a lot of people don't. They wait for the permission to make things. They wait for something because it's easier to do that than actually just making something and putting it out. And you could recognize it's not the best, but the next time you make something, it'll probably be better. And the next time you make something, it'll probably be better than that and that and that. And that's what we do, is we just keep making things. So we were talking about Conscious Contact, full disclosure. That's our first documentary. And 1091 Pictures contacted us. They're interested in talking to us about acquiring it or distributing it. And that's awesome. It's super exciting. But that might not go anywhere. And you know what? It doesn't matter because we'll put it out ourselves. And we're already off to the next one anyways. So if they didn't want this one, maybe they'll want the next one. And if they don't want it, maybe somebody else will. And we're not going to let that slow us down in any way, right?
Hell no. And dog, the fact that 1091 Pictures, a legit production studio, putting out tons of films every year.
They put out What We Do in the Shadows, which is a fantastic horror comedy movie.
Yeah, and for them to even reply back and say, hey, you guys put together a great film and we're open to distributing it. And just, I mean, dude, that's what dreams are made of, bro. That's what I've been saying, bro. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. And the whole time you're like, dude, but I don't know.
Wow, you've been working on that impersonation. That was spot on.
I know. Amy's probably back there. Yeah, like, hey, Chris, yeah.
Nah, she doesn't listen
Tyler
to anything
can come
I say.
over later? But yeah, man, I just hope, we can inspire others, dude, to just, swing for the fences. Take chances, dude. If people don't like your shit, who cares? Like, do you like it? Was it fun for you to go make that? When you rewatch it, does it make you smile? Does it make you laugh? Awesome, dude. Well, if it does, then I guarantee you there's at least one other person out there, one in this 8 billion person world that would absolutely love it, man. And if there's one other, there's probably 2, 3,
Well,
10,000.
and I love the journey because like your perspectives change. The first short film you made, like you overcame a lot because you hadn't done it before, and you put it out, and you're like, wow, I made this. I'm so proud of it. And now 5 years later, you'll go back and you'll watch it and be like, that was the hottest garbage I've ever seen in my life, because your perspectives changed, your skill sets changed, you've evolved. But you know what? People even like that first thing you did. So just think about it now. You're exponentially better with your skills and stuff. How many more people will probably like it? But that also leads to a thing that I struggle with occasionally, which is like, does something matter? Am I proud of something if no one's watching it? Am I proud of something if, like, you asked me yesterday, I think, you're like, we got all this stuff going on. Are you happy? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's a mindset thing. What do you feel about like the stuff you make? Like when you make something, are you proud of it? Are you happy? What's your reception?
I think I was just very fortunate to like stumble upon filmmaking. And so I try and remain forever grateful and thankful that I can even do this. And so like, bro, when I finish filming something, like if I have an idea in my head, or like, just flying out and filming this interview of retired CIA officer John Ramirez, dude, as I'm filming this stuff and there's stuff that he's saying, and I got 2 cameras going. I'm worrying about lights. I'm worrying about lab mic. I got on a gimbal, and where's his eye? Like, there's so much shit going on, dude. But I hear certain things, and I'm like, oh, dude, my heart explodes, bro. And I log it in my brain. I'm like, dude, man, this is going in the trailer. And I just can't, like, I don't know. I get so excited. I can't wait to get on that plane, fly back home, dump the footage. Now, I had a date that night. So as soon as I got home, I couldn't edit the trailer, but had a lot of fun with the date. And so, yep, the next morning, bro, woke up and like first thing, it's just like, oh, dude, get the footage dumped. Oh, man, I'm having issues transferring it. And just like I get so hyped and so pumped about it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I'm proud of it because it blows my mind. Like, this is stuff we used to, we'd watch on TV and back in the day. And we, like back then, right, we thought it was absolute magic, dude. How in the world can somebody create something where when I watch it, I am in that world? I believe everything in that world is established. Those characters are real. This story happened. And so, oh, dude, I don't know. It fires me up every stinking time I open my eyes in the morning when I'm like, dude, we are making stuff that, 10, 20, 30 years ago would have cost millions of dollars in Hollywood. And look, like Chris, for your bad movie night, you guys review B-rated movies, bad movies. And dude, some of those that are considered B movies had massive budgets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like big budgets.
Mm-hmm.
And so, dude, how can that not get your heart like flying when you see what they made with that money and all those people, and then look at what we're making with 2 people and just hustle and heart? How does that not make you just want to do cartwheels all over the place?
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot to say about that. For one, I think making a bad movie is almost just as hard as making a good movie, and I think a lot of audiences don't realize that that a production like that is not easy, no matter what. Certainly easier if you have a bigger budget because you can, do more things, but it also creates a lot more problems as well. Right. So, I don't know what my point is there, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think.
Well, along those lines, quick, Chris, is like that's why this is like you talked about earlier, respecting or enjoying the journey and respecting the journey. It's like, dude, so now I don't care how crappy your video, film, whatever it is. If I see somebody put themselves out there on social media, whatever, where they tried to film something, I am cheering for them like you would not believe. Because I'm like, hell's yeah, dude, I know what it takes to make that. So even if it's bad and I don't like it, bro, that took a lot of heart, a lot of passion.
It's and yeah, that's what because I get criticized a lot on Bad Movie Night for like pointing out for me, now that I'm this age, I get really annoyed with the hyperbolic, like, and the super negative way people discuss movies, where it's like, this is the worst trash I've ever seen. And it's like a $30 million movie with had hundreds of people working on it, has fantastic camera work and lighting and stuff. I'm like, you are completely disregarding every positive aspect about this movie, maybe because you didn't like the story or how it played out. And I hate that. I hate the super negativity about that stuff, even though I'm probably like one of the most negative people I've ever met in my life. But the inability to recognize other people's efforts. And so when I talk about low budget movies, I'm generally pretty forgiving if I see effort, because effort is passion. Effort means a lot to me. People trying. Do you know what I mean?
I love it.
If I see a movie that somebody put out and it's just filled with filler and all this kind of stuff, and it doesn't look like they tried at all, they're just trying to put something out to get it released on Tubi or whatever and make a few dollars, that I'll be negative about, because I want the passion. I want people to try. Like, if you're not trying, then why are you even bothering to make something creative, as far as I'm concerned? Like, I'm not like, you can. I want people to make money off their work.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I want you to see you actually try and make something worthwhile as well.
That for sure. That always got me back in the day in elementary school, middle school, high school, in like football, different sports I played. I remember the people specifically, and I won't call them out because they could be watching, but I remember the people they would, God love them, they'd show up to 3-a-day practices, summer camp for football. And then they got the balls to say, after spending weeks sweating their butts off, and then they're not starting, right? They're not on the starting first team, which is no big deal. But their way they handle that is, oh, dude, I could start if I tried. If I tried, I could start. And I'm just like, well, what the hell you been doing? Wasted all your sweat and energy out. Like, don't even be on the team. So, like, I'm the type of guy like you. It's like, well, I coach like my son's soccer teams and stuff, and I love the ages at 7, 6, 5, because it's like, yo, guys, if you can just try your best out here and have fun, you will get better, man. And that applies equally to 36-year-olds as it does to 7-year-olds, right? Or 15-year-olds or 18-year-olds. Like, dude, if you try, you will surprise yourself at what you can do. Most people, it's easy to box yourself into this is the way the world works. I can't make documentaries. I can't be a filmmaker. That's not me. I didn't go to film school. I didn't connect with Steven Spielberg, who, it's all about networking. It's like, nah, dude, we're in the information age. We start taking steps. We start making movies. We're filmmakers now. We start making documentaries. We're documentarians. And I love the way that we came at our documentaries is like, yeah, we'll be the first to admit we're not massive documentary watchers. So we're coming at this with just a completely fresh perspective on how to piece together a interesting, informative, entertaining, and thought-provoking story that we want people to enjoy it. We're not trying to bore people for 70 minutes. Like, dude, if you're going to spend 70 minutes of your life where you can be doing something else, we want you to leave that viewing saying, damn, man, I wish there was more of that. And that's the feedback we've been getting. And that's what helps propel us to just keep filming these interviews and cranking out docs and coming up with new names and writing new narrations. It's like, dude, people are getting hyped because they see the quality of work we're putting out and they want more. It's like, bro, we'll give them more all day.
Yeah.
While we got 3, I don't mean to cut you off, but while we got 3 viewers, maybe I went out of my mind. Let's see. Dude, I love this stuff. We got Hydra Hose. Maybe I went out of my mind. You can lose it all if you wanna. Hydra Hose, good looking out. I believe Hydra Hose is the same people who, in another broadcast, I think it was on the Curiously Insane podcast, another show I have. I think they wrote some like long poetic stuff, and it was that far out there I couldn't process it on live air. And I thought, made me go to the point of, oh man, maybe there's like some MK Ultra shit going on, and they're activating like a sleeper agent right here because this shit is so far out. I don't even know what's going on. So Hydra Hose, I'm glad you're still alive and kicking it. And yep, we're out here cheering for you, man. Your mind rocks. What else do we got? We got Borak. What are you guys most excited to come forth this year now that we have things in place to utilize in this field?
Are we talking about like UFOs and aliens and stuff?
Yeah, so
obviously
Borak,
the James Webb satellite launch is incredible.
I mean, we got the James Webb Space Telescope, which is nasty, bro. We're going to be able to see way, way, way further back in time. And just the signatures and stuff that it can pick up. Man, I feel like it's going to maybe show us something. And crazily enough, or coincidentally enough, the timing of when I think the first like data and stuff starts getting transmitted back coincides with the like the Gillibrand Amendment that was passed in the NDAA, and like the new UAP office that's going to be collecting data, and there's a process for military people to submit it. So it's like, oh man, this is going to be formally studied. Then you got Avi Loeb and the Galileo project. So what are we most excited about? Man. Oh, wait, let's see. It's hard. Do you see the government doctoring or placing restrictions on where and what can be viewed with military restrictions in reference to the telescope? Oh, that's a good question.
I think that's definitely a possibility depending on what is found and what isn't. I mean, because that stuff has happened before in the past. However, I feel like also that would have been easier to do in the past now with the internet and how many people are involved with these kind of things. It'd be very hard for information not to leak. I mean, like literally, like I don't know how many years ago was it? 10 years ago now, where Edward Snowden leaked that the NSA is spying on everyone.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like these things are just going to be uncovered. And while the government can, manufacture consent with the media and all that stuff to kind of like adjust our perspective, on these subjects, I still feel like if something groundbreaking like the discovery of alien life forms or just something incredible out in space is going to be hard to contain.
I agree. And yeah, it seems like kind of a perfect storm how, well, things are just setting up and we're getting stuff into the public discourse. That mass consciousness, like the world consciousness is just becoming open to new ideas and things that we never even thought of before. So as you start peeling back that onion and just opening people's minds,
well,
the government feels more comfortable releasing that data.
What's insane about all this stuff is I was watching you ever see There Will Be Blood, Tyler?
The
Daniel Day-Lewis, Paul Anderson movie about an oil guy in like the late 1800s or whatever, maybe even early 1900s. Well, just the fact that like it's a very well made movie, but it takes you back to that time, like 100 years ago, maybe a little bit more than that, just to think like it's like a completely different world. That life does not exist at all in any way anymore, at least where we are, in the United States. Maybe in some third world country where there's not the technology rapidly available that we have now. But just to think in like 30 years from now, where will we be and what will we know is insane.
Chris, 25 years ago, when we went and got on our computer, if we wanted to talk to each other, it was in a chat room and it'd be like beep, 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 boom, boom,
and now it would be like ASL, Tyler, and you'd be like, girl.
Yeah, exactly. And then like, you'd be trying to like download a song like through Napster, and then like all of a sudden it slows down and you're like telling your sister, like, get off my space. You know,
dude, you're gonna upset Lars Ulrich of Metallica talking about how you were downloading off of Napster, son. What are you doing? You're criminal.
That's cool. Yo,
plus you had to get on that LimeWire.
No, I did get on LimeWire. I got on all that stuff. Yo, Vorak saying here, are you guys aware of any big pushes behind closed doors you could tease without revealing any specifics or names? The typical Elizondo or Corbell releases or someone likewise. Vorak, I'm not at liberty to say anything. I can tell you that the interview I had with John Ramirez here on Thursday, January 6th, was super sick. Okay. And I just have to go through my head what was said. I got to go through all the footage again. So I know what was said on camera and what was said off camera. You feel me? Because it was just, man, it was a very, very interesting time. And he and his wife are super, they were just great hosts, man. It was awesome. And so, no, I don't think we know of anything specific that we can disclose. I would imagine in my head, yeah, just the way things have been unfolding in the media since 2017, the New York Times article, all these former intelligence officers and Department of Defense employees, like with clearances, coming out and saying various things. I find it very interesting. And with what I know about marketing and branding and what I've learned, like, it's certainly how I would go about if I needed to disclose something that's pretty out there.
Well, I mean,
I got to start throwing out some stuff and getting people to, I got to chum the waters a bit.
You have the NASA chief, Bill Nielsen, yeah, out there talking like so plainly about his beliefs about, you know, extraterrestrial life and how positive he is that it's out there and it's just a matter of finding it, and that it might have already been here. Like he is a very credible, you know, person. It's hard not to take it seriously, right?
Exactly. And the fact that more and more high-level people are just saying this stuff, I mean, dude, the population forever has been conditioned. It's like, okay, well, if somebody in an authoritative position tells me something and the media reports it, well, then I log that in as fact, and that's part of life. And my reality continues forward with that, that part in my mindset. So like when these high-level people are no longer fearful of being stigmatized as loony or crazy.
Stigmatized, yeah, that's a good
it's
way
like,
of phrasing it.
Wow, dude, either they're that far along in their career where they just don't give a shit what people think, or they've been given some sort of nod that, hey, it's okay to start talking about this stuff. And it's been neat to just see the things that have been talked about. You know, it seems like there's a common narrative or thread being strung and it's really, this is another reason why I think more stuff's coming out. In the interview with John Ramirez, the retired CIA officer, you know, he had said, you know, that 2017 New York Times article, like acknowledging the gimbal or Tic Tac video and just start acknowledging these UFOs and UAPs. He's like, that allowed top cover for him, where now that this stuff is out in the public domain, now he can start talking about some of his stuff. But before, he wasn't allowed, you know, he wasn't able to without potentially breaking like an NDA. So, I feel like, everybody that's tuning in here, y'all been rocking. Should we hit them with that beautiful trailer we got, Chris? For
yeah, we can talk about it a little more. Yeah, about what our plans are and stuff.
So anybody out there watching, we're gonna hit you with this trailer. Drop some comments. Let us know what you think. I can tell you right now, the peeps on Twitter are pretty happy with it. I think we're at. Let me check. Man, dude, We had 5,171 views across, oh, doggy, 15,701 Twitter feeds. So 1091 pictures. If you out there watching, guess what? Your boys go to bat, and we generating organic.
I want to talk about that aspect too, just from a creative aspect. But let's play the trailer
after the
now.
trailer.
Yeah, after the trailer.
You got it. Let's roll that trailer.
My name is John Ramirez, and I served in CIA from 1984 to 2009. I had a 25-year career, and it culminated in me receiving the Career Intelligence Medal for my service. An officer in the Office of the Chief Scientist and the Directorate of Science and Technology, he said, there's going to be an interesting one-day symposium that you might want to attend. It was stated that the McMinnville, Oregon UFO was an actual UFO. And the second topic was about alien DNA and CIA's interest in alien DNA since World War II. I surmised that perhaps what was actually the secret of Roswell was, yes, there was a craft, and if it was just a craft, I think the government would readily disclose that. And yes, there were outer space beings on the craft. I think the government would disclose that eventually. But the fact that these beings had DNA that was found in the human genome, I think that is the actual secret of Roswell. I think that is a core secret of why the government will not talk about Roswell. Because to talk about Roswell, you will have to also talk about the occupants in the craft.
That was a very nicely cut trailer, Tyler. You cut it very nicely. I will say, the font choices at the end, hot garbage.
No, it is. And Chris,
which
that's
is why you have to give it to me to do
designer.
that. Yeah, I am. I did design the poster and stuff for Conscious Contact, which I'm actually really proud of. I think that came out really well. Very eye-catching and fun. And we have to talk about our boy Adam Hardwick with his alien costume and stuff like that.
Shadow Alley Productions.
Alley Productions, and he's an awesome dude. Helps us out on a lot of our projects. But as far as the trailer goes, it was really, really well done. Very interesting. John Ramirez has some really interesting talking points, and it wasn't. I know when we went out to talk with him, it wasn't necessarily about this whole hybrid notion, but that's clearly rising to the top of a lot of topics in this like in the alien sphere. It's becoming more common to hear about hybrids from these people, and so we'll see where this documentary takes us, because this is one of the first ones, if not the first person we interviewed for this one. But like Conscious Contact, I'm interested to see if we get other people who just kind of bring up this topic without, like, we don't press these people in any way. Kind of let them
Not too. I get a little bit of background on them.
Yeah.
And I direct them a little bit. If there's certain things I know they've said before.
Yeah.
I say, hey, can we make sure that we
talk about this? Yeah. We want to talk about this.
Yeah.
But we don't say, hey, a lot, like, we don't direct them in how to say things or whatever like that. You know what I mean? He just kind of started talking about this.
They share their experience, their story.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that'll be cool, because it's really interesting, and it's something I never really thought about as well. And the way he relays it back to Roswell is a new talking point for me as well that I've not been aware of.
When he said that, dude, I almost fell over with the camera mid filming. I'm like, oh, dude, this is going in the trailer. And my man John, he's great. He actually had some other great lines. He actually said "in plain sight." When I heard that, I nearly fell over as well. I tried putting that in the trailer, but the setup for it was just
Too long.
Way too long to keep people engaged. It would have just made the trailer longer. People will want to see it because it's a great conversation about, you know, some of these sightings in the 50s, I think 50s and 60s, he says, and 70s, were these CIA spy planes or whatever, the U-2 and the A something, I can't remember. But they were silver. And he said, so like the CIA, as these people were reporting some of these UFOs and getting pictures, they could quickly
identify
and say, no, these aren't UFOs. But the CIA said, well, hey, if these people are thinking they're UFOs, well, yeah, we'll just we'll let our projects hide in plain sight. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's actually really sick.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
But that's also why in this briefing he had, where they're telling him the McMillan UFO is real, is because they're saying, hey,
it's not ours.
It's not ours. Like, this is definitely real. And the reason it hasn't been debunked is because it's not ours. And we've been following this stuff. So that whole, dude, thanks for the props on the trailer, man. I loved it. I love just crafting it together. And there was so much stuff there. I mean, bro, for those watching, Chris Rupert over here, he actually does the final edit and puts the entire documentary together, which is a long, grueling process. It allows you to be very creative, but it's very grueling. So I know as I went through this footage, I'm thinking, oh, baby, Chris, you're going to be able to string some nasty, really cool, credible, detailed stories into this doc that will make people just open their minds and think, wow, okay, well, if this is true, well, then what else is true?
Exactly.
Getting to this question, Vorak. Hey, Vorak, make sure you subscribe, dog, because we love all the questions. I see you have one later saying, sorry if I'm asking too many questions. You're definitely not. We love the engagement, my man. So I love that you guys got to speak to him. I'm really excited for the series. What, in your opinion, could be the next big wave of evidence? Military videos, biological study, or clarification of the past? Dude, Vorak, I can tell that you are extremely informed with this topic, and I love that, dog. Oh, I don't know if I could pick one. Like, it's very interesting to me that the Lou Elizondos are bringing up this stuff about, hey, what if everything we were taught is wrong? Like, that will be a somber moment for humanity to reconcile that. And so, wow, clarification of the past.
Well,
yeah,
I think there's a couple things. I mean, we kind of already touched on them, but obviously, if the James Webb returns something, which I don't know if it will yet, but there's a possibility.
Right.
But that would
scientific
be a
data
big revelation. You have what's the amendment?
The Gillibrand Amendment.
The Gillibrand Amendment now. So theoretically is making the government be more open and honest about their discoveries. And it could just, something could be put out there that either shows new information or possibly explains things like clarifying things of the past that we've kind of already hinted at, but now gives us a new and better understanding of what we were seeing. Like, for instance, when Bill Nielsen was talking about that footage, the infamous like gimbal footage you're talking about, like, could we get further explanations about what that was and what the military perceives it to be? Because I know, major news networks ran that story of, oh, we have this UFO, we don't know what it is, and that's basically all they had to say about it. But I have to think that the government knows more than we do, the public, about that. And while they may still not know what it is, I'm guessing they've done research or studies or looked into this and researched a bit more about it and would have more information about maybe theories of what it is. And like, maybe they think, oh, it's Chinese or something, you know what I mean? Like, but I would love to hear whatever explanation they kind of have. Or is it, we don't know what it is? And that could be almost easily just as interesting, to think that the government did look into this and still has no explanation.
See, that's frightening for me. I would be more frightened if if my guess is as good as the government's.
Right.
Like the problem is that everything is partitioned and compartmentalized. So it's like, there's probably, I imagine there's only a very select or handful of people who maybe even, or like have all the cards and have all the data that can make an informed decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it's, I think as more people are talking about it, and more high level people are sharing experiences or being open to it, I think that will encourage, hopefully just more of that growth. Sorry, I got distracted. I saw Amy talking to you or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
my
what am I
apologies.
talking about now? Amy. But dude, I don't know. And like, man, yeah, because they're definitely, I feel like the government has to know. That's what I was saying. I'd be more frightened if they didn't, because here's what's up. I know my man, and it'll be in the doc. John Ramirez, he was like a ballistic missile analyst or whatever, right? And so he knows all this information. He's looking at all these satellite imageries. He's looking at other countries' satellite imageries and what they're tracking across the sky. And he's talking about being able to track, that objects are tracked at 8,000 kilometers per second. Yeah, 8,000 kilometers per second. Or no, 8 kilometers per second. Sorry, 8 kilometers, which is still far or fast. And so they're like, oh, dude. And that the satellites and stuff, they have like the technology, like, because they're tracking. So there's some stuff way far out that's tracking all the satellites and space debris orbiting the Earth. There's like 29,000 things in orbit. And we have the technology, and had the technology 30 years ago or whatever, to filter out the stuff that is orbiting versus stuff that's flying at a different trajectory at a higher speed. So it's like, bro, this guy has seen a bunch of stuff. Like, he knows this stuff. Man, if I'm him and I don't know what I do with that information, right? It allows me to take that information plus meetings and stuff with other people in unrelated fields and like all this different stuff. And he can make a much more informed decision than I can. So if he's saying the reason that Roswell isn't talked about by the government or acknowledged really at all is because they found that the extraterrestrials shared like a human sequence or genome sequence. It's like, dude, his guess is better than mine.
And it's the problem with this kind of stuff is that, like, yeah, he's high level and was super respected and all this stuff and knowledgeable, but because he's like one guy coming out and saying this stuff, it's so easy for him to get discredited, or like, you know what I mean, like for whatever media to come out and be like, oh, it's just blah blah blah. I mean, we could see the same thing. Like, we talked about Edward Snowden before. Like, the dude literally had to leave the country and go to Russia because what do you think will happen to him if he comes back?
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and everything he said was true. So yeah, just putting that out there. But
and that
we should say, because we are going down the rabbit hole of aliens and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Which isn't exactly,
it's all fascinating,
the whole purpose though of this podcast.
Right.
Because we do want to talk in generalities about creativeness and filmmaking and being a creative. But it might be a good idea for us to schedule something at another time where we just do talk about, the conscious contact or whatever, and dive into this kind of subject a little bit deeper.
Good point. I will say this. Like you mentioned about, you mentioned about Edward Snowden, and wow, he had to leave the country because what would happen to him, bro? Yeah, like, it is crazy as I'm going and driving out to this interview and pulling over and whatever, just trying to be cautious because I don't know what, like, the dude worked for the CIA, and I roll up and he's like, yeah, I talked to the CIA, they're fine with this interview, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, that's just nuts, right? My life, who knows if I'm being watched? The CIA knows that some guy, Tyler Transu, is going to interview a former employee there. and that employee is going to be talking about.
If you find a camera in your room, it's okay. It's the one I put there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I'll do some extra naughty stuff for you.
I like to watch you.
That's cool. Let me get to Vorak's question real quick. Yeah. How much research? Dude, haven't done a ton into Gary Nolan.
Yeah, let's look into
a little, but I will. You can bet your sweet butt. This is what my butt does. I just pull on threads, dog, until we find a massive, dope story that we can turn into a documentary. So Gary Nolan, it looks like we throwing this out in the universe. I'm going to look into your stuff. From what I had seen before, I think it's very, very fascinating and interesting. So you'll be getting a email or tweet from me or DM to schedule an interview, and I'll come out and get that.
This, and speaking now in generalities about creating, this is exactly what I'm talking about. We didn't know anyone. We don't know. I mean, we network now because of the things we've made, and people approach us now because we're a little bit more credible that we've created things, and it shows that we will actually make stuff. But the way we brought conscious contact to life and these other things is simply by asking, reaching out. And we got a lot of people who ignored us. We got a lot of people who say no, and that's fine. They might say yes some point again later, now that they see we made conscious contact and stuff. But either way, like the way we manifested it by just making it happen. We went out there and said, hey, we want to interview you. And they said, okay. And you're like, okay, next few weeks later, you're on a plane, you're there. Done. And
it's insane.
It wasn't like because we had some special ability or skill or whatever. It's just literally just messaging and asking people.
Moving your feet, dude. Anybody can do it. We didn't sit down. We didn't pre-plan out this whole documentary and, oh, dude, who should we interview? And then after we have this massive list, then start whittling down names. And it's like, nah, dude. We came up. I found the operative. I found John Ramirez. I'm like, yo, Chris, this guy is saying some really sick stuff. And he's new to the ufology community, and people are engaging with him. And I was like, dude, you care if I reach out? And he's like, and I'm like, yeah, we can do it. We had a couple different names for it. But yeah, we settled on In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community and UFOs. And he was like, yeah, go for it. I reached out. John was super responsive. We went through some, just conversations back and forth. Flight was booked. Here we are, dog. We have a trailer that everybody just saw.
And the thing we talked about with like 1091 Pictures, you had mentioned like, hey, 1091 Pictures, watch, we're putting this out there, all that kind of stuff. That's the one thing we are trying to do a little bit different than a lot of other people, a lot of other creatives, where they put their nose to the grindstone and they make their project, but they're not, they're trying to always show this facade of perfection in their work and all that kind of stuff. We're a little bit more open and honest, and we just put ourselves out there. We put everything out there. So we're honest about how long it took us to make conscious contact and how, all that kind of stuff. And you can take and have your own preconceived thoughts about what that means or whatever, but we don't lie. We don't have anything to hide. Because and if you do, like, I don't know, I feel like that's the kind of stuff that's going to bite you in the butt later on if you're just like trying to, we are like, we got a few comments about the name In Plain Sight. And you could speak on that if you want, but like, we came up with the name a while ago because we thought it was cool. It would be a good story to look into and to tell. Unaware that there was another book called that. Not that we have the exact same name, but like, and then you just said online, you're like, oh, we didn't know.
Yeah, it was unintentional.
No, unintentional. And that's the kind of stuff that's going to come up. But I feel like if we are constantly putting out, whatever information we have and who we are and what we're working on, maybe that will make people understand more. Maybe that made people more interested in coming along with us on this journey, more interested in our work. And I just would encourage other creatives to just try and put themselves out there a little bit more.
I agree. And I think, guys and girls, hopefully, you're picking up what Chris is putting down. Like, go to our facebook.com/dockside media. you'll see, man, we're very open with, hey, we're going to get this interview. Boom, we've got another interview scheduled. Hey, we're looking for people to come on a camp out with us so we can make Secrets of the Sasquatch. And, dude, we have a litany of other projects we're working on. So the fact, like, if you look at our time frame of how quick we're cranking this stuff out, if you knew all the other stuff we were working on, you'd be like, what? Wait, what? You guys did that quick, and you're still doing all this other stuff? Like, yeah, and you can do it too. It's a matter of moving your feet, not just saying, oh man, someday I'm going to go do that. It's like, dude, if you just email that person.
Well, there's a lot of I know a lot of people who've made a short film and then they're like, just don't put it out because it's not perfect yet, and they keep going back and they tweak and they change. And I'm like, it's never going to be perfect, guys. And so I've already accepted that with a lot of things. You know, I do my best and try and make something I'm proud of or whatever, and then I put it out. But with like Conscious Contact and stuff, like there is a time-sensitive nature to the content as well. Especially with this stuff that moves so fast and there's new information revealed and everything like that. So we do want to put something out that's, you know, entertaining, but also factually accurate in the moment or in the zeitgeist, you know, still not something that has been debunked or, you know, passed on or already revealed. So that's also another reason why we have to move so fast with some of these things.
True. Very true. But guys, yeah, we're definitely nobody special. Look, I got a mullet, man.
Yeah, he has a mullet, and
Chris has dirty laundry. So,
whoa,
like, Chris, you're the one that always calls out your dirty laundry. This isn't me. Yo, Vorax, and I'm similar to you guys. I study this on my own in free time, out of curiosity. I'm a freelance graphic designer, and I also do marketing / help run esports brands and content creation in general. Yo, awesome. Vorax. Massive shout out to you, bro, or broette. You have you definitely have my respect, and I'm cheering you on. And that's something cool too, dog. I love seeing this. Dude, my man helps run esports brands. Chris, do you understand the times we are living in, bro? Where, like, who would have ever thought when we grew up playing Mario on an 8-bit system or whatever, you know, that eventually somewhere down the road, not only would people get paid to play video games, and it'd be a highly competitive sport with sponsorship and be broadcast to mad people. Like, dude, the fact that my kid will watch a YouTube video of somebody else playing a game instead of playing that game himself.
I know.
Is insane.
Yeah.
And if you would have told somebody like 20 years ago that would happen, people would have said, you're an idiot. Why? That'll never in a million years will that happen. But you know what? Somebody thought it would, and they kept pushing that idea forward until it manifested and became reality. And that's what we're doing, and that's what we're trying to create or encourage other creatives to do. Like, dude, I know there are times throughout my filmmaking career, especially early on, where like people, you just get, when you're first learning, it's easy you could get discouraged, because when things don't look super polished and you don't feel super comfortable in front of a camera, your audio sounds crappy, your video, the quality's low, poor cuts, poor edit. Like, even though you like it, it's easy for somebody to try and tear you down because they got nothing better to do. It makes them feel better, whatever. And so, like, I know there were times early on where I could have said, you know what? Maybe that person's right. Maybe I am stupid. You know, maybe this is, like just a, really bad idea. I'm not good at this. These people are calling me idiots.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, by the way. I'm sorry I did that.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good because, I just threw that fuel in the tank. I'm like, all right, it's all good, because guess what? I ain't making this shit for you people. I'm making it for the people that do dig it, man. And it does bring a smile to their face, or it does get them fired up. So
exactly.
That's who I'm making it for.
There's such a big audience out there nowadays.
It is.
And you can't appeal to everyone. So you got to find your audience in this day and age, which is what we're trying to do by just being open and honest. And so, go ahead if you want to read that.
No, you can keep going.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
We're all about honesty here. If you guys could have any projects, this is Vorak again for the listeners on the podcast. Pardon me, I burped. Sorry, Vorak. If you guys have any projects I could hop on for free of charge, of course, I would love to make promotional images or thumbnails, etc. I could link my portfolio. Dude, we appreciate, like, this is what we're talking about, just reaching out, asking people. Worst thing we can do is say no. So
just send us an email, right?
Yeah, send an email to Tyler@docksidemedia.com and Chris@docksidemedia.com. And yeah, man, we'd love to see your work. Yeah. And yeah, dude, and we'll go from there. But that's how you build. That's how you build friends, build brands, man, build networks. And that's one thing that I think has probably helped Chris and I grow, and I think it helps other creatives grow quickly, is the ones that aren't afraid to learn, keep growing, right? Like we're very open when somebody says, oh, or for me, for an example, when we go on a set and say it's like not even a documentary, say it's a short film or something like that we're filming. And if I'm like DPing and directing or whatever, and I'm like, hey, Chris, dude, I'm going to shoot this commercial like this. I'm going to do this. And I love that you're like, just as a friend, sometimes you'll have good ideas. Oh, well, hey, did you think about if we get a wide shot from back here and we got that lake in the background or something? Like, oh, dude, good idea. And instead, like, I love trying to remain teachable.
Yeah.
And that when other people suggest stuff, it's like, oh, dude, just because I didn't think of it doesn't mean it's not a good idea or better than an idea I had.
I'll just, look, in life, and especially when I'm this age, I think being positive and supportive is going to get you a lot further than being negative and cynical about things. So encourage people. Don't put them down, because that doesn't make the world a better place as far as I'm concerned. And that's what we're all about here.
Exactly.
So,
and I internalize this shit too, man. Whenever something bad happens to me, bro, instead of getting all fed up, like all like upset and really mad and angry about it, I'm like, oh baby, it just means that pendulum swinging back twice as far, in the good direction. I think it all balances out.
We've seen that. So
we have, dude. We certainly have. And I'll tell you what, Chris, this has been an awesome podcast. I'll tell you what, do we want to real quick, you want to inspire the viewers out there to like something that you're doing as far as a whole feature length film? You wrote the entire thing.
Yeah, Transient. It's a sci-fi horror feature film. So I'm beyond Dockside Media. I do BMN films. I've made 14 short films, edited a feature. Very involved in narrative filmmaking. It's my passion. So I have this movie called Transient. It's a sci-fi horror movie. We did a crowdfunding campaign. We raised about $22,000, but I'm still looking for more funding because I'd like to have about 45. So we're trying to find private equity investors, which is somebody who will give like a decent amount of money, like $10,000 in exchange for part ownership in the film, and reap the rewards and benefits if it is successful, which I highly am excited about, and I think it will be successful because it's a really interesting, unique story, and I have a very distinct vision for it. So I'm excited for that. So we're looking for that, but we're going to be going into production this year on that movie. And if you are interested in checking it out, you can go to maketransient.com. There is a video kind of explaining more about the movie and some visuals and stuff like that. And it also shows some of the previous work. If you're interested in possibly investing in the movie, you can go to maketransient.com as well, or email me, chris.rupert@gmail.com or chris@docksidemedia.com, and I'd be happy to discuss with you. But I'm super pumped, super excited to, while the documentaries are incredibly fun and fulfilling to make. This movie, Transient, is completely a passion project of mine. Everything kind of came from my vision, and it's going to be really cool to see this thing come to life. And I hope, and I'm pretty positive, there is at least a crowd, a niche audience out there who will really dig something like this. I know it's not for everyone, but it's something that I love, this sci-fi horror kind of dreary, gloomy kind of movie that's also very contemplative and cerebral. It's not super fun like a Marvel adventure movie, but for me, that's kind of the stuff I dig. So I know there's other people out there who dig it. So if this sounds cool to you, maketransient.com.
Dude, I love it. There you go. Vorak. He says Thanks, he's Vorak. Excited to see it. Vorak wants to see that joint. Vorak.
That's the thing, man. We got plates in the air. Like, we're spinning. One thing doesn't land right, that's okay. We got another thing. And that's how you got to be.
Dude, I love Yo, bro, Vorak. Dog, if you happen to be the cat out there with $10,000 that wants, here's what's up, that wants to contribute to the the Transient film at maketransient.com, dog, you get a piece of the film, right? As well as a producer credit. And guess what? You get to be on set. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah.
So, dog, Vorak, you're into the graphic design and branding and esports. If you want to be a filmmaker and you want to learn from the cats that know how to build filmmaking brands and put out great documentaries, music videos, commercials, feature-length films, bro, this is your chance. You can hop on and, bro, it is very like Neuralink futuristic is a great way to a great way to explain this movie. I know. I think I don't know if I did. I suggested that you tweet Elon Musk and see if Neuralink wanted to sponsor it. I suggested that a while ago. I don't think he ever took me up on it, but I'm just saying it doesn't hurt to ask. That dude, he replies to crazy people, and $10,000 to him is nothing, bro.
It's not even a penny, yeah.
You can use Neuralink in the movie. There, you already have the device instead of having to build it yourself. So, yeah, Vorak, if that's something you're interested in, man, you're absolutely right. This is what he commented earlier. Vorak, okay, cool. Have you guys considered going on some of the more informative podcasts in the UFO field to help spread the IPS message, such as the UFO podcast? They retain great fans and have a great cast.
We can reach out to them. We've been on a few.
We have. We've been on Hysteria 51. We were on. Now, why am I drawing a blank here?
Alien Girls.
Alien Girls podcast.
We have one this week
with Kelly Dodge as well. We've got a podcast lined up this Thursday that we're going to be on discussing conscious contact, full disclosure. There's, I think, a radio that wants to have us on. But yes, we have reached out to a number, but feel free. Yeah, I don't know all of them. And yeah, we're just researching these as we go. So like, if you happen to know some great ones, like you said, the UFO podcast, yeah, I'll absolutely reach out to them. I had somebody, where is this show? Let me check. Engaging the Phenomenon. So they were engaging the In Plain Sight, the Intelligence Community and UFOs trailer on Twitter. And so, yeah, I just popped a message to them or a tweet to them saying about, hey, if you guys are interested, in getting a private Vimeo link to pre-screen Conscious Contact Full Disclosure and have us on to discuss it, we would be happy to. So we'll see, man. We're going to keep manifesting this stuff, bringing these docs to fruition, and, man, trying to, like, get people to think. I don't care what you think, man. I respect everybody's thoughts. But just think, dude. Open your mind up. Even if you think the stuff's silly, like, watch it, bro. Watch it. And that makes you more well-rounded. It does. But I will be damned If everybody that we've had pre-screen this stuff that wasn't interested in the subject matter didn't come back saying, wow, I don't know. Maybe it is possible. So it's like, wow, dude, it's sick what we're doing, man. Affecting people, inspiring people, opening people's minds. I guess it's a dream come true. Am I right, Chris?
Definitely.
Definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, dog, this has been, I think, a pretty sick first episode of the Bickering Creatives Podcast. Again, I'm Tyler Transu, and my co-host over here, Chris Rupert.
We didn't even bicker that much.
We didn't. And you know how I had pitched you on the idea, maybe we should like get into a fight at the end and you just storm off, and that would be it's like dumb. The end of you told me it's dumb, but I don't know. You just want to shit can it? Maybe we don't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it. Why?
Because it's a stupid idea, Tyler. And I didn't want to have to tell you this on here, but I have to tell it to you now. And probably the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. And I've heard a lot of dumb ideas.
Here's the thing, Chris. If I listened to you, I would not have a production company. I would not have. If you listened
to me, you would not have a mullet. Is what you wouldn't have.
That's true. But then I would not have a girlfriend, because guess what, baby?
You'd have 5. You'd have 5 girlfriends.
This got me the girl. I only need one. I can barely keep my son happy, let alone another person. So I don't know. I would storm off, Chris, right now because you have me that upset. But if you remember, I said you need to storm off because I'm broadcasting the stinking show, and I can't turn it off if I leave the room.
I can't freaking storm off because there's so much goddamn laundry all over this room, and it's just a safety hazard, honestly.
Dog, I asked you to remember one thing at the beginning of the show. It's, dude, when we get to the end, I will signal that we're closing. We can start arguing, and you can hop off the podcast. Now we're at that moment, and you're trying to make me hop off the podcast. I don't think you understand the directions I am giving you right now. You need to get back here, Chris. Chris,